In 2023, I drew Genshin Impact characters as idols, and now 2 years later I wanted to see how doing something similar by drawing Honkai Star Rail characters as idols would turn out. What aspects from the last project can I take and use for the new illustrations? These were some thoughts I dealt with when working on this project. I find revisiting an older project like this helps you realize what you learned and liked from that previous project. Hi, I'm May. This is a part 2 to my previous video. Today we'll talk about the second group, Reveries. First, I'll share some inspirations for this group. I'm showing the mood board I used as inspiration as well. Before talking about what characters I drew, I'll go over some general themes and aesthetics I used as inspiration for the designs and illustrations here. Maybe you would like to guess what characters I drew for the group based off this, and the visuals I'm showing here in the comments. The first aesthetic would be Casino. Casino is a bold, glamorous aesthetic inspired by gambling culture, filled with card games, dice, neon lights, and high-stakes energy. Visually, it blends luxurious tones like gold, black, and red with motifs such as poker chips, playing cards, and sparkling lights. The vibe can range from elegant and high roller style to fun, flashy, and carefree in the more casual, tourist casino look. As another aesthetic, I have Fantasy. Fantasy is a whimsical and adventurous aesthetic inspired by magic, mythology, and imagined worlds. It features visual elements like enchanted forests, castles, potions, swords, gemstones, and flowing medieval-inspired clothing. The vibe is magical and immersive, filled with wonder, ancient ruins, glowing crystals, and a feeling of stepping into a storybook realm. And a third aesthetic I used as inspiration here would be Ethereal. Ethereal is a delicate and otherworldly aesthetic that feels soft, heavenly, and timeless, often associated with light, flowing forms, and a dreamlike presence. Visually, it features lace, pale colors, angelic motifs, glinting water, and long unstructured silhouettes paired with soft light and nature-filled settings. The overall vibe is calm, kind, and slightly magical, like stepping into a serene world that feels just beyond reality. Now for the first character I drew for this group, Argenti. Similarly to my last video, I'll share some thoughts on roles the characters could take in the idol group as I'm showing the illustration process. First would be their role on stage. I'll share a description of the role and then why Argenti would fit the role to me. The main dancer is the one who usually takes center stage during performances and pulls off the most dynamic and expressive moves. Argenti fits this because he's dramatic, confident, and has a strong sense of presence. He'd treat every dance like a performance full of meaning and emotion. He'd give 110% in every routine, make dramatic entrances, and probably add flourishes like a rose toss mid-spin just for flair. A second role I'd like to talk about would describe the behind-the-scenes role. This would include tasks they may do to help the idol group that don't involve singing and dancing on stage. The visual is the member known for having the most striking looks and style. They help define the group's aesthetic and overall vibe. Argenti fits this role perfectly. With his elegant armor, knightly charm, and dedication to beauty itself, he'd always be perfectly styled, help pick the stage outfits, and would definitely strike dramatic poses even when the cameras aren't rolling. The group dynamic role is what I'd like to talk about next. This will be mostly about the character's personality and how this affects the way they interact in the group. The mom of the group is the one who checks in on everyone, reminds them about schedules, and makes sure they're okay, emotionally and physically. Even though Argenti might seem intense, I could also imagine him being very thoughtful, naturally looking out for everyone behind the scenes. He'd gently scold members for skipping practice while offering emotional pep talks that feel like heartfelt speeches before a grand battle. That's it for the first character. The second character in this group is Sunday. First, his on-stage role. The leader is the one who guides the group both on and off stage, usually taking the lead in songs and being the main face of the group. Sunday fits this role really well because he has a calm, trustworthy presence and knows how to lead without being overbearing. He'd probably sing the emotional, slower parts of songs with a lot of feeling and speak really thoughtfully in interviews, always thinking about how to represent the group's values. Next we have his behind-the-scenes roles. The composer creates the melodies and instrumentals for the group's music. They're in charge of the overall sound and mood. Since Sunday is reflective and creative, this role would let him quietly shape the group's emotional vibe from behind the scenes. He'd spend a lot of time layering subtle sounds and harmonies, wanting every song to tell a story or hold deeper meaning. And finally, here are my thoughts on Sunday's role in the group. The responsible leader is the one who keeps things organized and looks out for the team behind the scenes. kind of like a quiet support pillar. Sunday naturally is thoughtful and serious about helping others, even if he doesn't say much about it. He'd be the type to remember everyone's schedule, check in quietly when someone seems off, while continuously working in the background to keep things running smoothly. The third character I'd like to talk about is Aventurine. The onstage role I could see him having would be the sub-vocalist. The sub-vocalist supports the main vocalists by filling in harmonies or taking small solo lines when needed. Aventurine would fit this really well to me. He's adaptable and clever. He would probably enjoy jumping in at just the right moment to steal a bit of the spotlight. He'd treat every line like a playful performance, adding just the right flair to keep things interesting, or maybe even improvising now and then just to keep people on their toes. Now let's talk about Aventurine's BTS role. The social media manager runs the group's public accounts, shares updates, interacts with fans, and keeps the group relevant online. Aventurine is highly charismatic and loves being the center of attention, so he'd definitely be the one writing the funniest captions or stirring up fan reactions on purpose. He'd post sneak peeks of music videos, tease upcoming releases like a game of poker, and probably accidentally leak spoilers just for the chaos. Finally, Aventurine's group dynamic role. The happy virus is the energetic one who keeps everyone's spirits up and brings a fun energy into the group dynamic. Aventurine fits this role naturally. He's loud, playful, and always seems like he's having a great time, even in stressful situations. He'd be the one cracking jokes during dance practice and cheering people up with wild ideas. He may also turn serious moments into something more lighthearted from time to time. The final character for this group would be Dr. Ratio. Did you guess any characters I mentioned correctly when I showed the mood board at the start of the video? Now let's talk about Dr. Ratio's role on stage. The rapper delivers strong, fast and attention-grabbing lines that add energy and edge to the group's music. Dr. Ratio fits this role because his sharpness, confidence and love for complex wordplay would come through perfectly in rap. He'd write technically impressive verses, perform them with confidence, and probably throw in clever words or layered meanings just to flex his intellect. Next, for his BTS role. The lyricist is in charge of writing the group's songs and shaping their message or emotional tone. Dr. Ratio is very thoughtful, even if he sometimes may pretend that he doesn't care. He'd probably see songwriting as another way to get his ideas across, just in a more poetic form. I could also see him handing over lyrics full of metaphors, sarcasm and layered meaning, and then acting like it's no big deal while everyone else is reading the lines like a puzzle. Finally, Dr. Ratio's group dynamic role. The Ice Prince is the quiet, mysterious one who doesn't show much emotion but still commands attention with their calm, cool vibe. This fits Dr. Ratio perfectly. He keeps to himself, isn't very emotionally open and gives off that "you'll never figure me out" energy. He'd mostly stay silent during group interviews, make a few sarcastic comments when he does speak, and still somehow be the member some fans are very obsessed with. Next, as mentioned at the start, I'll talk about Genshin characters that could work as a counterpart to each Honkai Star Rail character I included in this video here. Argenti would remind me of Kaveh because both are dramatic, artistic, and very invested in aesthetics and ideas. As an idol, Kaveh might differ in that his perfectionism and emotional sensitivity could make him less consistent than Argenti's unwavering confidence on stage. Still, Kaveh's flair for beauty and empathy would align with Argenti's role as both a striking visual and a caring mom of the group. He'd worry about details in costumes or his bandmates and deliver passionate performances that feel like art. Sunday parallels Zhongli in their calm, dignified leadership and reflective nature. While Sunday would shape the group's sound as a thoughtful composer and serve as a responsible leader, Zhongli as an idol might bring a more traditional ceremonial touch, guiding the group with wisdom and balance, though perhaps being a little out of touch with everyday concerns like finances. Both embody a grounding presence, the type of leader who commands respect quietly and ensures the group feels stable even during chaos. Aventurine and Child both share playful charisma, unpredictability, and an ability to keep the spotlight on themselves without driving apart others. As an idol, I could see both Child and Aventurine being confident, adding a magnetic aura in interviews and performances. Both fit into roles like sub-vocalist or social media manager as they thrive in engaging with people, teasing fans, and using charm to bring excitement and energy into the group. Dr. Ratio reminds me of I hate them because both are sharp, intellectual, and somewhat aloof, preferring logic and precision over emotional displays. As an idol, Alhaven might differ by keeping an even lower profile, avoiding unnecessary fanservice or attention, but he'd still share Dr. Ratio's strengths as a writer or lyricist and Ice Prince. Both would craft lyrics full of layered meaning and sarcasm, deliver performances with effortless coolness, and maintain an aura of mystery that fascinates fans who try but often fail to unravel them. That's it for the characters in the second group. Which character and which of the illustrations I drew do you like most? Do you have any other ideas on what these characters could be like as idols? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. I have the illustrations included in this video as prints on my shop, and on the backsides of these prints are actually the illustrations from back when I drew Genshin Impact characters as idols a while back. Similarly to how I sorted idol characters to the Honkai Star Rail characters in this video, I also aligned the characters on the back with Honkai Star Rail characters that at least kind of fit to me. For example, on the backside of Dr. Ratio's print would be I hate them. On my Patreon, you can find full screen recorded process videos, time lapses, and full resolution images of my art. And if you'd like to see the videos where I drew Genshin Impact characters as idols, I leave a link to the playlist with this here. I've also studied the Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail art styles in several videos before in case this is interesting to you. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, bye!